If you're staying in the Anaheim Resort area and want to go somewhere that is nice, natural, sunny, go out for hiking, maybe go to a park and play some frisbee, or interesting enough, maybe rideable model trains, well, you can do that all and more. It's only just down like about 10 miles from the Anaheim Resort area is Fairview Park in Costa Mesa. So we can go hiking. My favorite part, model trains, which is only one time a month. So gotta keep out your calendars for that when you come there. Welcome to AntSol Travel. We're heading out from Anaheim to Fairview Park by OCBus. The city Costa Mesa, who bought the 208-acre park area that became Fairview Park from Orange County in 1986, is planning to revamp their master plan at the park in January, as it is a home to endangered species and to Native American historical sites that have evidence of past indigenous people. However, they need to balance preserving nature with park visitor needs of the park area for recreation, such as the playgrounds, hiking trails, Orange County Mall engineers, and especially also RC planes. The park hosts endangered species such as the fairy shrimp in their vernal pools, the bumblebees, burrowing owls, and also model trains of Orange County Mall Engineers Club, which we'll see you there in a bit, and also an RC plane strip since the 1960s. And the Orange County Mall Engineers has been there since 1980s, celebrating their 50th anniversary. So with that, they do need maybe to get relocated there due to how close they are to all the endangered species, because it especially goes through unnatural land that has not been tampered too much there, but does get occasionally trimmed. So how will be there get things changed over there? We'll have to see. To get to Fairview Park, we'll be jogging over to the outlets of Orange and taking the OCBus 47 from the outlets of Orange to Placentia Avenue and Wilson Street, then walk half mile up to Placentia Avenue to get to Fairview Park. However, if you're staying in the Anaheim Resort area more towards like Harbor Boulevard, you take is the 43 bus, and then we take down Harbor, and like would you go from Catella or Chapman or I think otherwise at Disneyland, then just go all the way down south to when you get to Wilson Street, then you transfer on to the 47 bus. Then just do that there, and it works. Then you just need to walk up half mile, since it is about a mile and a half. Depends if you want to walk the mile and a half back to Harbor. On Placentia Avenue, there's also is a really neat mural that reflects the history of the park area. So including the original Native American people, along with like about the Mexican and American settlers, and then when it eventually came into more park area, and Orange County Mall engineers there as well. So for there, welcome to the Orange County Mall Engineers. They are model train hobbyists of larger model scale trains that people can ride on. So it's like a garden scale thing it was. But they have offered free train rides for the general public every third weekend of the month since 1985. And donations are appreciated for $5 per group, since model trains are not a cheap hobby. And especially just even the regular model trains of HO scale are not cheap either. Legos, yeah, not either. But for there, especially still not a cheap hobby in general, and needs some money to maintain tracks and landscape as well. Since it is a huge area that the tracks go around, is mainly a natural area. They just need to lay down tracks and then just need to keep trimming it. So they need to make sure to get everything nice and clean. When it went in May of last year, there was a huge line of family that was so long it took over 70 minutes. So that's one word of warning there. So when I was there at 10:30 a.m. But for me, since I went later, I got there at noon, and it was not too bad at all. It was actually 15 minutes, because actually a mother and son, and then me separately, we were selected for a 3-seater train, which can actually seat 3 people with actually cushioned seats. So that was pretty cool. But otherwise, you'd normally be sitting pretty much be straddling on the train coach cars. So over there, that can fit like a few people on there, like 2-3 people, depending on how many people we want to do there per group. And you just go on the train. And it's a pretty nice train ride. It takes about roughly 15 minutes on there to go around as the layout goes twice around the park area for there. So it was pretty cool. So for there, on the way out, I did donate $5 for there. But if you do want to further support them as well, you can also buy from their store as well, which you do have like snacks, ice cream, candy, train themed merchandise as well, train toys. I'm sure that little kid me would want everything in there. But for me, I'm like, nope, I don't need anything in there. Especially when you go get lunch there as well. But first, want to go hiking around the area. But for the park area, it is still a nature preserve. So there's still a lot of area that is still like not accessible for hiking in general there as well, especially since you need to help protect all the endangered animals. But for there, once you do go like around, you can still go through the train tracks. Just make sure oncoming traffic on there, and then of the train traffic, and then just go over the bridge, and then you'll get to the main park area, and especially you get towards like the main nature area for the nature reserve. For there is also nicely maintained trails which are really good to walk on for there, and it was really nice. I really liked it there. And especially for there as well, it is especially accessible if you are biking, since it is along the Santa Ana River bike trail. So for there, especially if you're going from like the Arctic and then just go straight down that way, it's like 11-mile bike ride. For me personally, I don't want to do 22 miles there and back, so I'm good. But for their OCBus worked out better. But for that kind of case on there, definitely was hiking around a bit. You can just walk and bike and hike, and some people use it as a trailhead as well to go on the bike trails or just go hiking and biking. But one thing I did not see on there that I didn't have very time to see, but I'm sure also kind of get closed off there, is the RC playing fields. So it's been there since 1960s, very surprisingly. I'm surprised since how close it is to the river areas there in comparison to the Orange County Mall Railroad Engineers is. And then there is like the park area, so they do have restrooms there, but there isn't really actual like sinks to really wash your hands in, so keep that in mind there. Make sure to keep a bottle of Purell with you. And then for there, they also do have parking is free for there, along with like picnic and barbecue grill over there as well, and then grass areas, so you can just go and play. There's like no real like play structure there, unfortunately, but you can just go there and just have fun. And also there are bike racks as well, so you can park your bike there. And then for me personally, after jogging, it was really tiring. It was lunchtime anyways, like about nearly when it got there was not one. It was like about 12:30 at that point. So for there, it was time to head back to Harbor Avenue and get lunch. For me personally, I did walk back over there, which is not too bad. It's like about 2 miles. For me, that's like nothing at all. But for some people, depends. But otherwise, I just recommend just take the OCBus 47 then 43 back. So one place that I went for lunch that I do recommend to check out is Better Buzz Coffee, which opened in 2002 in San Diego, which now has grown over to over 35 locations in Southern California, Las Vegas, and Arizona. Known for their coffee, pastries, and drinks and sandwiches that all my coworkers at the hotel really love. It looks pretty good there, so especially that really good sandwiches and pastries there, so definitely decided to have a sample there of their drinks. So, well, because normally for them, they got all their like sugary drinks on there. For me, I don't like all those sugary drinks. Don't need any more milk and sugar as necessary on there. I just got a medium coffee with half and half. Not too bad for $3.49. I think the creamers are extra, the non-dairy creamers are extra, but I just got half and half anyway. So for their sandwich, I had their Better Breakfast sandwich, which was about $10, $5 for the coconut lemon muffin, and then $3.49 for the coffee. The sandwich was really delicious, and the eggs bacon on a brioche bun. The muffin was really delicious with a combination of lemon and coconut. The coffee was typical medium roast, not too bad, pretty good. And then after that, I took like the OCBus 43 back up to Harbor, and then up to Chapman Avenue. And holy cow, it did take forever in general, because for there it took nearly an hour to go up 8 miles. So it does take a while in general, since there are so many stops, and especially there are a lot of transfer points in between there with other OCBus routes, such as at Adams Avenue for 178, which is weekdays only, 76 at MacArthur, 72 at Warner, 70 at Edgar, 66 at McFadden, 1st Street at 64, Westminster and 17th at 60. Westminster Avenue is also the western terminus of the Santa Ana streetcar as well, which is still coming up later in 2025. And then 56 is off of Garden Grove, 54 at Chapman Avenue, so that was my exit there to go to Target. And then 50 for Cattell Avenue. So for there, when about an hour later, when I took to Chapman exit for about right before Chapman Avenue to go to Target there. Especially for there, if you do go take the bus and you do get groceries, make sure to keep in mind, don't get anything too bulky. But for there, at least surprisingly, rolls of toilet paper weren't too bulky for to put in a bag. So, however, I did miss the bus on there, so I actually did walk back, and I actually did beat the bus back to get back for. Well, to head to outlets at Orange. So, well, and that was my sustainable trip for that day. It was pretty cool to go check out Fairview Park, and especially get there sustainably by transit. And especially, I've saved so much, saved wear and tear on my car, gas burning, and especially to get also because of that too of not burning gas, then also save on carbon being burned into the atmosphere, which according to the I think was Sustainable Travel International's carbon offset calculator, I saved 18 pounds of carbon from being burnt into the atmosphere by taking the bus instead. And especially then I just kind of offset more of the compressed natural gas that's being burned by the bus anyway. But holy cow, it does get quite crowded on the bus. So it was a pretty cool adventure, and clean and green too. Thank you for watching AntSol Travel.